data matters more than ever. So what I'd like to do is talk to you about just one topic, which is how do you maximize what is the single most important asset of your organization, maximize return on data. There are four agenda topics, the first one of which is our value proposition. Very simply, is to help you maximize the return on your single most important IT asset. The second thing that I want to talk about is our industry is being transformed like never before as a result of the nexus of megatrends that I'll talk about. And your role is more important to your organizations than ever before. All these megatrends have given rise to big data, which means that there are many more ways that each of you can deliver even more value to your organizations. And finally, I want to talk about the fact that we continue to deliver on our promise of continual innovation, and specifically what I'd like to talk about is how the latest Informatica 9.5 allows you to realize the promise of big data and maximize return on big data. Now, many of you over the years have told me data is foundational. It's all about the data. And yet, when I have conversations with you, most of you believe you are not realizing the full potential of data. Or in other words, there's this enormous data value gap that exists. And our proposition is that it is time that if data is the single most important asset, much in the same way as we talk about return on investment, ROI, we need to have the discipline as an industry measure return on data and measure what it is that you're getting out of the data. So let me propose a framework for how you can have that conversation. The formula is a very simple one. Do you increase the value of data? Decrease the cost of data? And I know that it looks very simple, but it's very difficult to objectively measure value. How do you measure value of data? How do you measure the cost of data? So let me describe that, and let me propose a way that we can think about doing just that. Now, it's all in the context of business. I know that the business drives IT priorities. And what I have over here is it's not a controversial list. I would be amazed if any of you say that in your organizations what I listed over here are not among the top priorities. Whether it is customer centricity, whether it is governance, risk, and compliance, whether it's agility, these are the top business imperatives. And it's no surprise that business demands IT to deliver the data that is mandated by those business requirements. And IT often cannot deliver because that data is locked up in a daunting range of silos, from transactional database applications to social interaction services, from on-premise applications to cloud services, from servers to personal computers, and increasingly more mobile devices. Our promise to you, the value proposition of our platform, very simply, is that we'll help you realize the value of data by delivering the data that is mandated by all these top imperatives. In fact, we increase the value of data in 8 very specific ways. And through efficient automation, we reduce the cost of data by lowering the requirements for hardware, for software, for labor, just to name a few things. Or in other words, we help you reduce the value of data, reduce the cost of data, maximize return on data, and even take my word for it. We have hundreds of customers that are realizing the value of it. With relevant information, REA was more responsive to the cleanup requirements of the Gulf spill, oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. With trustworthy data, Station Casino was able to increase the membership by 160%. With timely data, DirectX was able to process 5 times more transactions. With authoritative data, American's financial advisors were able to increase revenue productivity by 10%. With in the case of a confidential financial services institution, they're able to actually, with actual information, prevent credit card abuse. Zyme was able to reduce the onboarding time to increase the number of their customers by 400%. Help Now was able to reduce the cost of IT. And INM, with using secure data, ING was able to ensure the privacy of sensitive data. Hundreds of examples of customers that have been able to measure value of data, how to increase the value of data. And at the same time, we reduce the cost of data. And these are some of the examples of them, hundreds of examples of them. Toshiba was able to reduce the cost of building a customer account by 95%. Smith & Nephew was able to reduce IT costs by $1.4 million. A bank was able to slash their budget by about $11 million. Direct Edge got 5 times more processing with half of the hardware. Lloyds Bank will save hundreds of millions of pounds by retiring a lot of legacy applications and retaining control over their data. Wells Fargo was able to reduce the time that it took for them by 75%. U.S. Coast Guard was able to reduce the effort involved in maritime awareness substantially, and finally, Help Now was able to reduce the IT cost dramatically. So those are examples of customers that have reduced the cost of data. In other words, our value proposition very simply increase the value of data, decrease the cost of data, and in the information age with lots of big data, I cannot think of a more compelling value proposition. Now, how do we attain that? And to do that, let me actually remind you of the technology landscape that we all live in. Data today is fragmented across a range of departmental applications, ERP applications, CRM applications, and yet none of the planning data is any of these in any of these database applications. Planning data is in spreadsheets. Now, more and more data is being outsourced to cloud computing vendors or business processing outsourcing vendors, and there is valuable data that is being managed by your trading partners and your suppliers. There is a wealth of new data, the likes of which we have never seen, which is being collected by all of the social media services. And there is enormous amount of data that is being collected by sensors, by meters, by mobile devices, all over. How do you increase the value of data? Well, Informatica provides a comprehensive platform that allows you to do just that, increase the value of data. With near universal access, enterprise data information delivers holistic information. With simple to use facilities, your business users can have relevant data from cloud services. With B2B, flexible B2B, you have accessible data from your trading partners with social media from mobile devices. Timely data with auto messaging, secure data with application ISM, trustworthy data with data authority, actionable data with complex event processing, authoritative data with master data management. Or in other words, our platform was designed to help you maximize return on data and through efficient automation, help you reduce the cost of data. Now, let me talk about how our industry is evolving, and the changes that are going on are unlike any that has happened. There are 3 transformative changes that are simultaneously changing the where, the what, and how of computer industry. Never happened before. The where of computer industry is moving from on-premise compute to cloud computing, changing the economics of computing from buy to rent. The what of computing is changing from transaction processing using database applications like SAP and Oracle to interaction processing using social media services like Facebook and LinkedIn, changing the purpose of business computing. The how of computing is shifting from personal computers running primarily Microsoft Office for a few hours a day to 500,000 different applications running on a variety of mobile devices that we all carry all the time. changing the face of computing. Our industry is going through a transformative change unlike any that we've ever experienced. And it changes everything in the world of data. With the change in economics, more data will be collected by cloud services vendors that was cost prohibitive to collect. More transactional data will be collected by cloud services vendors. Social computing represents the next wave of data-centric applications that represent enormous volumes of data. And with location-aware, context-aware, location-based services, mobile computing represents the next surge in device sensor data. Or in other words, data integration is more important. Your skills are more important than ever before. Now, cloud computing has a very compelling value proposition. And the value proposition is lower cost and better service. A cloud computing service provider delivers the same service to thousands of customers. Their economies of scale mean better economics for you. Their specialization means best-in-class service. There are infrastructure as a service companies like Amazon. There's Salesforce.com and a CRM application as a service company. That means you get the best-in-class service. But your risk with cloud computing is you are losing control over your data. Now, cloud computing will never replace on-premise computing. Much the same way as personal computers never replace mainframe computers. It is not practical to rip and replace everything you have. Instead, cloud computing will augment on-premise computing. And the challenge is, how do you leverage the best of both worlds? How do you ensure that you're not left behind because all of the innovation is going to happen in the cloud? And how do you make sure you leave none of your data behind, which continues to be on-premise? Informatica allows you to combine the data that is on-premise with the data that is on the cloud, or in other words, your opportunity is to enable the hybrid IT organization. And to demonstrate that, let me introduce Darren Cunningham. Darren is Vice President of Marketing of our cloud computing business unit.
So let me tell you what we're going to show you here in just a few minutes. You mentioned this concept of hybrid IT, and it's really, I think, an exciting concept, and it's really the reality we're all in. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes how Informatica Cloud can really power hybrid IT by integrating cloud-based service with an on-premise system. And we're going to kind of play a little scenario here, so I'm going to act as if I'm running this online store called Big River. And I'm going to show you how you can go from demographic-based marketing to personalized marketing in Informatica Cloud. So let's have a look at our website here, which is the Big River online store. And we have your profile, and we know a little bit about the books you've been reading. And right away, I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing the Hoff, and knowing you, so I'm pretty sure this isn't really relevant for you. This is probably not the kinds of books you're reading. I'm just guessing. But actually, don't have to guess, because we know some of the orders you've made in our stores. We know for over 30 years you bought a certain kind of book. So what I'm going to do in a couple of minutes is show you how I can use Informatica Cloud to pull in order information, tie it into the relevancy engine behind our website, and really deliver more of a personalized approach. So let me do that. Let me go to Informatica Cloud, and I will log in.
So there's no software or hardware required to do what you do.
Correct. So I'm going to informaticacloud.com, and some of you, I see a few iPads out here and other devices. You can actually do this along with me. You can go and sign up for a trial. It's that easy. And you mentioned, with this concept of cloud services, there's a new type of user out there, people who demand simplicity. And that's really, relevancy. That's what we're focused on with the Informatica Cloud solution. So if I go to the administration area of Informatica Cloud, we've recently introduced what we call a Cloud Connector Toolkit. So many of these new applications have web services APIs. They're coming online every day. And your challenge is how do you really get your arms around the sprawl of these apps? So we want to deliver more and more connectivity to you. And in this demonstration, you can see we built a connector to this, this predictive engine. And I'm going to show you how you can then blend in the on-premise data with what we're doing in the cloud. So I go to my Data Services tab, and we've created a very easy-to-use design where it's a wizard, where we walk you through the steps of creating a source, a target, a mapping, and setting a schedule. And you can do this automatically as well with thanks to our REST API. So in this case, I'm going to create an orders integration task. I'm going to look at orders from my ERP system. This is where I can pull in all of your order history information. I'm going to then tie it to the target, which is my cloud recommendation engine. I'm going to map this, and we do some automatic matching, so we're automatically going to map certain fields, and I can set it on a schedule. That's it. It's that easy. And I run it, and within a few seconds, you will see this task is going out to the cloud. It's going into the on-premise system. It's bringing the data together and delivering. You'll see this in a second here in our activity monitor. It's going to move the order history information into the recommendation engine. And you can see I moved 532 rows within a couple of seconds, all really cloud-based. So now if I go back to my Big River website and I refresh the page, I see much more relevant information about you and the kind of things you bought. So lean integration happens to be a book by one of our Informatica scholars, great concept, and I think much more relevant book for you. So
thank you very much. Thanks, Darren.
Thank you.